soon as they reached the Mr. Saxona's house, a girl opened the door and said, "Welcome, welcome. She is Ria Saxona, Manish Saxona's daughter." Then Mr. and Mrs. Saxona also came to the hall and said hello to Umesh and Vikrant and greet them happily, and they all sat down in the hall and started talking. Mrs. Saxona went to the kitchen. Everyone was talking to each other. But Ria's eyes were only on the Peri. She was continuously staring. Her Peri was watching the whole house very carefully. Then Vikrant said, "What happened, child?" Peri told Manish that, "Uncle, your house is very beautiful." Peri liked historical paintings and sculptures, so she was watching them carefully. Manish said to Ria, "There is time for dinner. Do your own thing, show our house too." Ria went to see the house with the Peri. The Peri was looking the house, but Ria was watching the Peri. Then Peri said to Ria, "Why are you looking at me like this?" Ria said to Peri, "You have very beautiful eyes." And after saying this, Peri and Ria started talking. Ria walked up the Peri while showing the house, and suddenly a call came from her. She left the Peri alone for a while. Peri was standing there waiting for Ria to come. At that moment, Rahul coming from the front collided with the Peri, but as it was about to fall, Rahul caught him by the waist and he started looking at each other. From her, she left the Peri alone for a while. Peri was standing there waiting for Ria to come. At that moment, Rahul coming from the front collided with the Peri, but as it was about to fall, Rahul caught him by the waist and he started looking at each other. After a few seconds, both of them were realized and they were away from each other. Rahul said to Peri, "What are you doing?" "Here mean, what are you doing upstairs?" "Dinner is down. I have to make an important call." Ria went down. Peri, "No, let's go down." Rahul, "No, he asked me to look home, let's follow me." Peri was watching everything very carefully, but Rahul was watching it, and he said, "You liku arts a lot." Peri ham Rahul, "I know our first meeting was so wrong that you are angry with me." Then Peri turned towards Rahul and began to see him. "Rahul, Sony for that first meeting. But I want to be friends with you." The Peri was released yesterday that it was her fault that the car was driving really fast, and she said, "Sorry for tomorrow. But we can't friends." Rahul, "Yes. How will you be friends with me? We never met like friends. After the airport I met you at the party. I was going to say Sony to you, but you made your heels so hard on my feet." Then the Peri became laughable and she started laughing. Rahul looked at her with love. Then Peri said that OHK won't accept you. Apologizing, but we can't friends. Peri liked those people who considered their own fault. Peri seemed Rahul to be guilty, so she accepted. Peri went down with Rahul, and they saw everyone was sit at dining table and called them. They started eating after some time. Ria took Peri to show his garden. Both of them went to the garden. Mr. and Mrs. Saxona praised the Peri very much. Both of them liked the Peri. Rahul went to Peri and Ria with ice cream in a plate and said, "Hello girls, you want ice cream?" Peri and Ria take a 1 cup of ice cream and start eating. Peri and Ria were continuously talking to each other, but Rahul was only watching the Peri. He was also getting bored, but what could he do? Sometimes later Peri, Umesh, and Vikrant left for home, but Peri didn't say a single word to Rahul. She happily say goodbye to all. Next day, when Peri came down for breakfast, so she saw a newspaper on table. She picked that newspaper. Suddenly his eyes was struck on it. She rushed toward his room and called Meenakshi, "Meet me in 1 hour at the same place, Cafe Victoria." She left to meet Meenakshi. Vikrant and Umesh is already leave for office. When Peri reached Cafe Victoria, so aimed with R, she saw that some of the crooks standing by were watching her. Some of those crooks came towards the parlor and started harassing her, but the Peri started ignoring them all because the Peri did not like trouble without reason. Seeing the Peri was going, he started to circle around the Peri. "Peri, see, you guys don't bother me, you don't know who I am, stay away." Hearing this talk of the Peri, one of them said, "Do it, do one thing and tell me who you are." And he extended his hand towards the part. Suddenly someone grabbed his hand and twisted and loudly said, "If anyone dared to touch him, nobody would be worse than me. He is Rahul." As soon as he said this, he slammed that person on the ground and said the Peri, "R. Okay. Perry nodded yes. Rahul thrashed all those miscreants and asked to apologize. They all apologized to the Perry and started leaving. When Rahul told them all, "Don't show up here," they left. Perry called Rahul thank you and Rahul started going. Then Perry said that, "We can be friends. You have saved me from those miscreants. You are not so bad." Perry said handing towards Rahul, "Will you be my friend?" Rahul shook hands with the Perry and said, "Take care. You are new in Bangalore. You don't know much about the people here, by the way. These people will not bother you again. But what are you doing here, Perry?" "Actually, I came to meet my friend Rahul." "Okay. Take care. I am just going from there and I saw you, by the way. I have to go see you soon." Rahul sit into his car and went, but he looked Perry and say goodbye with a cute smile.